What's good, everybody? It is your boy Tony the Savant. Salute. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're pulling up to the video. I just wanted to report on this story that, as you can see, ESPN writer, excuse me, and Andrea Adelson. I think they redacted the story because originally, when I heard the story, it was something a lot more worse. But they've Uh, I don't know if they changed the story or I just can't seem to find the original article that I just seen on it. The article that I originally seen dropped 15 minutes ago. So ESPN may have redacted it, or like I say, I might. So it just dropped the story and it's so new. Uh, I refreshed my screen, and by the time I looked up, it was a whole nother feed of stuff going on in my story. But nonetheless, stories have been reported that Iowa basketball star Gabby Marshall, after the controversial call last night against UConn, has been receiving hate comments. But and I really don't want to. I don't know if that's why I say this is. I want to do responsible journalism here. The original story that I read said that she was receiving death threats, but as you can see, this article here would have been released 20 minutes ago. So I think they may have redacted the story, but it was originally reported that she was receiving death threats. Um, and now it says that she just received hate comments, which, kind of two different things. As an athlete in a polarizing sport like college and, on a big stage like the Final Four, you're gonna receive a lot of support and a lot of haters, especially coming from the other side of the opposing team. But I just wanted to report on it just to say that, understandably, it was a disgusting call by the refs, and this is why I wanted to immediately report after the game last night. I went live. What was it this morning? I've been so busy, man. But I wanted to report on how disgusting and egregious the refereeing, not even the entire game, but just that particular call at that particular point in the game is just, it's heartbreaking. It's a lot on the line. These are kids, essentially still. And then you got the colleges, the universities full of kids and parents and families. So it's just, let the kids play, man. Let the best team win, hopefully. But we all know sports, especially on these big stages, college and on the professional level. It's always going to be some funny business involved. There's always going to be, the guys that call fix and call conspiracy. They're always going to have a platform in sports because of things like last night. The call, but because of the referees. But another consequence of bad refereeing and such a emotional point in the basketball game is this. Players receiving hate comments, death threats, whatever. It's just so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary. Um, and I said this last night that if UConn was able to lose on a fair platform, uh, let's just say Page would have hit a shot. It was only, I mean, they lost by one. At that point in the game, it was only a 1 point game, I believe. But so Page hits a shot, go down on the other side of the court. Kayla hits a shot. I don't think nobody is sending, and Iowa wins. I don't think nobody is sending death threats at that point. When you got such a, again, big game with high stakes, there are going to be a lot of emotions entangled in the situation. And the last thing you want is a referee, a freaking person that does not put in any kind of work towards, the victory of this, the final goal, I'll say. Referees don't get up early in practice and shoot 2,000 shots a day and got to be on strict regiments and strict diets. I mean, if they do, it's not to the extent that these athletes have to do it, and especially these young collegiate athletes who are, all competing to compete at the next level. one way or the other, whether they play basketball or just compete in life. You know, uh, all that hard work goes down the drain, and these opportunities are so far and few in college. So you really hate that the referees had the final say essentially in that outcome. But all in all, uh, these death threats and these comments from fans, man, I just kind of want to do what I can with my platform and kind of remind people it's just a game. I understand, man. I was heartbroken for UConn. I can only imagine cheering for that team after all that they had been through, losing five key players in the way that they did, still finding a way to win games, hold it together, rally. Shout out to Paige Backers for her ability to rebound from such a huge injury last year and come back and lead this team as far as she did. Leah Edwards, another big factor. But again, it gets to the point where we will never know. That this team could have easily been in the championship game. In the mix, but we won't know now because again, the referees kind of interfered with the outcome. And fans have their right to be frustrated. I'll be the first person to say that fans have the right to be frustrated, but in perspective, when you go threatening these kids, these players, and all that stuff. And I like what Gabby Marshall said too, man. She said something very, at the very least, interesting. In her post game comments, she was saying that people can be mad at her all they want. She didn't make the call, and I agree. And if we're gonna be upset, and I'm not saying be upset and send death threats, and that I would never call people to for violence. That just I think there's always a better way, unless your opponent gives you no absolutely other option. And I think that people are always willing to resolve things in a non-violent fashion. But at the same time, if anybody's going to be uh, feeling the rage of the fans, it should be these freaking referees, man. Always in the mix. And you remember what Suge Knight said about Diddy? You know what I mean? You a producer, bro. You all in the videos, all on the music tracks. That's how I feel about these referees, man. It's like now we're gonna be talking about this controversy surrounding this game just as much, if not, as even more than the actual game. Because it was a good game up until that point. It was a good back and forth, classic. I'm very impressed with all these young ladies. This tournament has really gotten my attention back towards women's sports. Although I've always been, especially since I started my channel, I've always been kind of paying attention to what was going on in women's sports. As recently as these last 2 years, especially with I've been rocking with Coach Staley in South Carolina. Uh, been watching their dominance these past 2 years for as long as I had my channel. But anyway, uh, yeah, this was heartbreaking, and I hate that Gabby Marshall was receiving death threats and even hate comments. But at the end of the day, she made a good point. People can be mad at her all they want. She didn't make the call. You know. Now she did cap a little bit. She did cap a little bit, and she said something on the lines of like she knew it was a moving screen. I was like, she already relax because it was not a moving screen. Now you just doing too much. You know what I'm saying? I think it was Aaliyah Edwards. I can't recall who the young lady was that actually set the pick, but it was a good pick. It was solid. Her feet were set. If I was refereeing that game, I would not have called it. And all things considered, with all the marbles on the table, all the emotion involved, it's like that referee, bro. That every time I'm thinking about it, and again, I'm not a UConn faithful fan and nothing like that. I respect for what they've been able to do from afar. Shout out to Coach Gino as well. But I'm a competitor, man. I'm a thoroughbred competitor, and to see the referees interject themselves in the outcome of the game like that. Me as a competitor is like, dude, who do you think you are? You know what I mean? Could you imagine before a Michael Jordan game winner, the referees just calling a foul, a random foul, before Jordan hit a game winner, and even if he hit the shot to win the game, the referees waved it off because they called a foul moments before he shot the shot. That would be wild, bro. It's like, get out of here, bro. We pay y'all to make sure things stay controlled, not to watch these players every move. I mean, I guess that's the key. That's their good job as well. But like I said, man, I'm just heartbroken for UConn Nation. So unfortunate that they didn't get a shot at the championship game on these bases and on these terms. So it is what it is. On the other side of it, um, but again, prayers and uh, thoughts go out to Gabby Marshall. Hopefully, that situation is controlled, and just for the fans, man, let's keep our emotions in check. I get emotionally involved in the sports as well, so I'm not gonna sit here and be a hypocrite. But I've never sent a death threat to anybody, especially not a professional athlete. No, sir, that's not even cool. I don't know where, when, how. What I'm saying? What world would that be cool in? So anyway, that's all I gotta say about it. It is your boy Tony, that's Savant. Uh, we'll go back. I want to do a little something for the men's tournament before they go, before that starts. But just if I get the time to. If not, then it is what it is. But we'll pop back out when we pop out. Y'all get a goal accomplished. Peace.